Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be reviewing G2 versus Team Vitality. When I say ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the stream, then you just know that that's my intro to YouTube. But I'm assuming there's ladies and gentlemen in the chat. And if you're anything else, God bless you. Express yourself. Want a Fanta? Drink a Fanta is what I say. Rice first pick. Maybe a bait. Maybe bait. Honestly, I feel like Rod of Ages might just be a bait. Crazy thing about Archangel, right, is old Archangel, it gave you 5% AP. The current one gives you 2.5% AP of total mana, okay? They changed the stat allocation for health. Health is wealth, not in League of Legends, okay? Health is wealth, and they also gave it a little ability haste in comparison to what it used to be, all right? So in my mind, like, Road of Ages also gives you 100 AP, 600 mana and HP, and then it's like I feel like that proc, that you heal off of and so forth. I feel like it kind of falls off. I think we might just be in a world where Road of Ages is just bait. I feel like you lose so much, and you do it for this idea that you get HP and mana back when someone damages you and so forth. But I'm really feeling that this whole idea of Roa might be a bait. So this rotation was gorgeous. They just secured themselves the strongest bot lane champs, right? Here, usually, like in my mind, when you see Ashe and Varus, usually in my mind, I thought that most teams were just going to look for Yuumi, Sivir. But this is a situation where Sivir was banned on blue. And I think G2 has shown multiple times that they don't want to play Yuumi lanes. They just don't want to. I think that Yuumi Sivir is more durable against Varus Ashe. It's more durable against Lucian Nami too. So basically, in their mind, they're thinking we can invite Zeri, Yuumi, and we can get Lucian Nami. And I think Lucian Nami is better against Zeri Yuumi than Lucian Nami against Sivir Yuumi. Big discussion around Udyr. I have to say I love Udyr. I think Udyr is one of the strongest junglers in the game. I was surprised that it took this long for it to be played, right? But this is a terrible Udyr spot. Terrible. It is good into Vi, in the isolated jungle matchup. Jungle is not a 1v1 cage fight. And Ashe and Varus is already going to secure bot push, right? They're going to secure bot push. Lucian Nami is not as strong early as you might think it is, right? Lucian Nami is a scaling lane. Keep this in mind. Don't let people fool you. If Lucian Nami is winning early, then probably they'll win the game. Lucian Nami is a scaling lane that wants to leverage Gale Force and Imperial Mandate. Vi pick on 3, good into Lucian Nami, decent into Ryze, perfectly fine to pick Vi here, right? The main issue I had with Vi here is that there's a lot of champions still in the pool that are good against Vi. But if your bot lane is pushing and you have a lane to push towards to secure a crab, you're very happy. Yike is now on river and G2 are getting bot prio for the first time, which is very important, right? They actually have the Udyr in river and they get some prio here, and now with this wave they can of course make it crash. And this is like the payment that Bo made by stepping into topside and trying to look for that gank on K'Sante. Being spotted on the Raptors, Udyr gets some space to create a 3v2 for a short duration, right? Because Bo needs to clear. But this is where the beauty comes in, right? It's like, after, basically this pink is placed here, right? G2 cleared this pink, and no additional ward is being placed. Lucian, like you can basically count the wards of the opposition, right? Udyr could have warded here, but the odds of Udyr warding here is very slim, right? The main thing that could have happened, right, was when Yike invaded, that he should have taken the plant and then jumped over to create a safety net, right? But here, with the pink ward being placed and Lucian being the one with the wards on bot, and them knowing that there was no ward before they cleared this pink, gives Bo an angle. So Yike is stepping into river. Here, Yike could be either on, he could either be on Drake or he could be on Golems, because of course, Vitality are counting the CS of the Udyr. And now Bo cleared his 10th camp, and he is just posturing and looking at bot. This is a very cool read here from Bo. Sometimes I wonder in situations like this if there's like visual bugs on Drake, because sometimes they happen. Because in a situation where Udyr is just in the bush here, then of course Bo will lose flash, right? Maybe there is enough damage from, like, imagine there's Udyr stun into Yuumi bubble, Nami bubble, could be dangerous, right? I'm wondering if there's a visual bug that makes Vi very certain of the idea that he is not trapping in this bush. But of course, he can be on golems, he can be on Drake. And now Bo doesn't get spotted by the ward, and G2 feel very safe. They feel very safe because Udyr is in river, and they don't think this is going to happen, right? They don't think this is going to happen. They feel super, super safe. And then the gank comes in and Mickey dies, which is a super big deal. Udyr doesn't even get to finish the Drake. You see, Udyr is far away from finishing the Drake. He just cancels it. And Udyr now wasted his time. And Bo squeezes the gank. Really, really well played here. This was like an odds play, you know? It's like, what are the odds of Udyr just sitting in this bush? That's the thought process of any jungler there. Well, not any jungler, Bo specifically. Here, this was very awkward. Like G2 were hovering for a top play, but Broken Blade has not been allowed to kind of build the wave. And here Photon is very safe. He's just thinning out the wave. He's in no danger at all. Udyr, I believe he was spotted on the Tribush ward. And then Bo just goes over the wall to spot here to see what's up, if the enemy is diving. Because Ryze is not on the wave, right? Ryze is not on the wave. So they're thinking the only play that they have is to potentially dive top. This was very, very close. I think all things considered, right? It's like Neon's very low on mana here from the previous situation. Very strange here that Mickey died and he went back into bot. And here Neon and Kaiser get cancelled on the base. I'm not so sure what happened bot, but the fact that Nami died and they didn't manage to get a base in is very strange. They should have, like, something in the management of the wave was very wrong. It's like the fact that Nami died and they didn't get the wave in here definitely gave G2's bot lane a lot of breathing room. They made a big comeback here. And now they're basing and now they're sacrificing so much more than they did previously. Now Broken Blade here, it's like he's just trying to crash the wave, right? He's just trying to crash this wave. The one that Gwen was kind of managing in front of the turret. Bo is coming in now, and this is a very common LPL timer, you know? In before Herald, finding a gank on top, because both top laners want to stack waves and base. And the more aggressive Photon can play, the better. He can't get ganked. K'Sante can't get ganked. He is stronger in theory because he has a big wave. But really cool here. They just understand the gank distance, and Broken Blade is just shut down. He W's it, but with the flash. Honestly, looking at it now, like he did a very good W, but I wonder if he can just walk away. Vi has no Q. I feel like BB ulting in is very troll. I didn't realize this when I was looking at this live. That's crazy. Okay. Solution Nami. Got some breathing room back. We talked about it. Now Vi has no ult, which is a very important window for G2. Vi used ult to kill top. Now Yike is in river, but crazy thing here, right, is that Bo finished his item that a lot of people don't like. Like this is a stat stick. I just don't focus on the fact that it has healing reduction, because every player that buys it don't care about that. Think of this jungle item as the old AD jungle item. You get 55 AD, you get some HP, you get ability haste. That's all Vi wants. There's definitely cases where Black Cleaver is better, and I think on next patch, when Black Cleaver is buffed, I think the argument for Black Cleaver becomes even stronger. But it's just a cheap stat stick that allows you to transition into Radiant Virtue in a very good manner. Because you want to increase your clear speed, right? With the components that you buy, just increase your clear speed so you can keep up. And then you want to transition into full tank. And the idea with Kempunk is that you are allowed to do that as early as possible, because Black Cleaver costs more gold. But there's some cases where Black Cleaver, the effect can be very useful. I think on next patch, with Black Cleaver becoming stronger, there's an argument to be made, but you're in the mind of a Vi player, you just don't want to delay your Radiant Virtue. You just want to get that AD, you want to finish an item, and then just get Radiant Virtue cooking. Have a good night, Sammy. You just want to get your Radiant Virtue cooking as soon as possible. And that's the main thing. The conversation should never really be centered around the healing reduction. That's not why the Vi players are buying it. It is a stat stick that allows you to clear fast and then to transition into Radiant Virtue as fast as possible. Are there cases with Black Cleaver is better? Probably. But I think it's important to say that, oh, wow, he bought Black Cleaver, he's trolling. No. It's very important to understand the timings and the rhythm of the game. So hey, right, Yike didn't spend his gold. He just continues clearing because he spent time on the top situation, right? And now he's popping the plant over, and now Caps is feeling comfortable because he's in river. And now Bo is turning and fighting together with Perks. Now Caps is just ghosting away. They're leveraging the fact, of course, that once again, as mentioned before, Bo has no Vi ult, and it's very relevant here in these situations. Kaiser as well got really hard out traded. I'm not sure what's happening with Neon's mana pool. Probably skipping tier the way he did is not that great. Here, G2's strong layer understanding is showing through. Of course, I didn't see what's going on, but the fact they managed to recover the deep shit they were in after Nami died shows class. And then G2 here posturing forward, Rise posturing forward. They know that Vi doesn't have ult, right? And now Neon's mana is shit, Kaiser's HP is shit. Vitality here, they're pushing forward because now in this moment they're saying, yo, we have Vi ult now, right? So let's take a look at how this plays out. Kaiser reaches 6. Neon reaches 6, but he has no ult. Nami's level 5. Let's see how this plays out now. Because now Vi has ult, it changes everything. Okay, that's the arrow. And that is the ult out. They get out. And Bo uses ult. And of course, they got out. Okay. Perks, very clever play here. I like this a lot. Trapping Caps. Could have been very dangerous, right? Could have been maybe a kill here. Good W placement as well. Very close. There's odds there that Caps gets solo killed. Because of the placement of the W. You can't flash over the wall. Bo sees top situation, sees mid situation, free Herald, there's no contest here. Lucian and Nami were ready to cross, but they just saw the conditions of the Udyr, they saw the conditions of Rise, we're not contesting that, they went straight back into bot. Really big here, Vitality securing this one. Thing is, there's a frame in the Rise ult when you're porting where you're immune, and if that's the frame where you are going to get flipped by Vi, it just doesn't matter. You're just immune. It's kind of like fizz-eing a Vi ult. It just fizzles out, you know? No pun intended. Here, this is a very good example of Perks, right? Seeing bot situation, they secure the Herald, they know the enemy is not contesting, and just the fact that he chunked the shit out of Caps, and Caps is staying because he wants Road of Ages gold, and then TPing back, Perks is now leveraging his pressure and going into bottom side. Rather than trying to harass Caps under the turret, like a lot of mid laners would do, he's just seeing the bot situation and he's just looking to collapse on them. And obviously, like, once again, right, my concern about Vitality is, even in this game, where they had such a superior lane position, they managed to kind of be outlaned, you know? And it's hard for me to see the details of what happened in the lane phase, but with the conditions they were in, the fact that they didn't get a base in after Nami died, mistake. Later on, somehow, their bot conditions were really, really poor too. Lucian got 6, Nami was not 6, and they got chunked. No mana on Varus. You know, something's off there, you know? Now Perks comes in, Hansamo's posturing forward. You know, very natural for G2 to posture forward, right? Because they just saw a Rift Herald announcement that Vi took it. So they're like, yo, Vi is topside, we can play aggressive. But here Perks finds them and looks for some fish to kill. Caps TP'd bot. Another additional layer to it, right? We said that Caps is staying because he wants to find Road of Ages gold, but he uses TP bot, so he doesn't even get a tempo swing here off of the fact that Perks is bot. Irvet, thank you very much for the prime. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. G2 early. There's an attempt from Broken Blade. Who's your MVP this game? It has to be Bo. I think Bo was incredible this game. Yeah, at this point, right? At this point, the game is already so difficult. It's just very, very hard. It's like the timing of Lucian and Mandate is going to be so late. Vi has Rift Herald, and she is ahead of the Udyr. 2v2, they lose mid. 3v3, they lose mid. Very difficult game already to play for G2. It's like they get outscaled and they are even weaker in the current condition of the game. So here, Perks stayed around on bot, Neon based, Kaiser opened through mid, very natural, good gameplay from Vitality. Bo steps into river, he feels super strong, CC immune. And then here, Bo spots a little fishy. I wonder how they see, I wonder how they see Nami. Because they don't see Nami here. Maybe it's an Ashy or something. They use the plant and then Bo is just chasing. Bro, he just like Nami W's the Udyr. And Bo is like, oh, Nami's dead. That's like he sees the heal, right? But it is so cool to see that from this position he recognizes that Nami is dead. This is super cool. Super cool. It's really insane. Like he just finds her. Really good. This is a, like, I think in hindsight, right, after the killed here, depending on where the enemy defends, I think here Bo wastes a bit of time, because I think that Bo should connect together with Ashe and Varus again, and then when they get prio through mid, try to spot where Udyr is, and then place the Herald. Or in this spot, right, if Udyr is crossing back into mid, to just look for a Herald placement. I think here, this is the moment for you to put Herald. You kill the Nami, Udyr is defending mid, and you're in a good spot to put Herald. I think this is the moment to do so. Yeah, sure, it is a question of mindset as well, right? But that is just like jungle knowledge, right? That's a question of jungle knowledge. It's like some junglers like to skip camps and fight, but there are some situations where junglers that don't like doing that, where it's the correct decision to do so. And that is where it becomes weird. Here I like this play from Vitality. Basically, they feel weaker around mid. Kaysanté walk down, right? So basically you have a situation right now where Gwen is top pushing. So they don't have any intention to fight here. They have vision here and they're going to see the enemy cross. If they can fight an isolated 2v2, like in this pocket here that they're playing on, because of the plant once again, the odds of Lucian Nami going all the way here is non-existent. They're not going to protect this bush. They're just not going to do it. I can assure you. They will never do it. This really breaks apart G2 here. Kaysanté commit all the way. They have 4 here in this area. 4. And Ryze is isolated. Gwen is already gaining so much. Keep in mind they have Ashy as well and they're spotting people. Here Bo is walking forward. I didn't like it too much. Now he's just queuing over and piecing out. I think here I think these guys are psychos, honestly. I think Mickey is kind of trolling here. I don't know what he's doing here. Looks like he wants to go help Ryze or something. I think these guys need to get fucking Nami ulted. I feel like these guys should fucking burn. Like these two are really playing with death here. Hardest mechanically. Top lane, maybe like Fiora, Riven. Mid lane, Like Syndra is a pretty tough one because you can really see the difference between like a bad and a good Syndra, like a Kali. Bot lane, I don't think Cassio's hard. No meme, I don't think Cassio's hard. It's not that punishing to miss spells and you get a lot of chances. I don't think Cassio's that hard. Bot lane. Bot lane, I think you can see really big differences between Ezreal players and also Lucian players. Support, I think Thresh is something that stands out really. I think Thresh is a big one. I think Renata is also something where you see difference, but at the same time Renata is not so hard mechanically, it's more about understanding the game. Yeah, if you understand the game well, like this was a brilliancy, right? Like Ashe and Varus, I think they were completely trolling for posturing so far. Like they lost the sums here on Varus. But really, really good play on bot, right? It's like this pixel world allows them to do this. Jungle, Lee Sin. Jungle is Lee Sin. Like this was such a big gold swing for Vitality. They gave this fucking poop Drake, fart Drake, and they managed to get a full tower top, first turret of the game, and they killed Caps on top of that. Really, really insane. Mid Z, no. Or they gave you some mid. Z is not that hard, I think. Lucian's on the mid wave. He's just pushing. Vitality pushing forward. Basically, the moment they see Lucian on the mid wave, right? The moment that's when Vitality is pushing forward, right? This is the information you always have to be like processing. It's like Lucian is on mid wave. Imagine a situation where Lucian was, for example, here, right? Cassie would never walk like this. She's just pushing forward, and they're pushing forward because they see Lucian on mid, right? But that's a trade-off, right? You're pushing the mid wave, but you're giving up your position for it. In a situation where Lucian didn't go on the mid wave, then Vitality's position would be very awkward, right? I think Lucian should stay. You should stay with me, 'cause I'm on my knees. Like Lucian should stay. But instead Lucian goes on mid wave, and then all of a sudden Vitality are very comfortable to push her. But in a situation where Udi would be tanking here, Udi would be tanking here, these guys are completely out of position, and then Lucian is here, Ryze is here, or like Nami is here. Let's say Nami is here, Lucian's here, and Ryze is here. A very hard fight to the break. Lucian, Nami ult, Lucian, they're gonna have so much value in this spot. And poking is not so easy because you're playing in Fog of War, right? Very hard to find good poke with Varus and Ashe. But it is a big deal, right? The Ashe arrow, it's like Udyr can block it and it can be fine and so forth. I think they just squandered their position here by sending Lucian mid. Because keep in mind, they can keep this Herald leashed, and then they can look for a good fight here, and they can always re-enter into mid. They're not going to lose the position on mid, so... But here, they are continuing with the Herald, and at this point, you have to accept that the Herald is gone. You've given up the position. Because now it's the other way around. Now you're the one that needs to break this position. And it's very hard to break the Cassio with Petrifying Gaze in the pocket and Varus ult. Very hard. They're very lucky here to just get the smite in from Yike. But this position is completely lost for G2. And this came off the fact that Vitality recognized the fact Lucian is on mid, we can just enter for free. Right? Here he goes in for the smite. The TP of Gwen comes in, which in my mind was not so necessary, right? It wasn't necessary, but I understand why you do it. It's like, if you win the fight here, the game is over, right? So it's completely natural to do it. It's not a TP I'm ever going to complain about. Never, ever. Bow's HP gives them a chance. They're trying to enter here. Like, look how broken Ashe is, by the way. How broken is Ashe? Look, so here, they are in trouble. But Ashe just spots everyone. Here they're in trouble. They should not feel comfortable, like face shaking like that. They shouldn't feel comfortable. But they feel comfortable. Another layer to all of this, right, is that Mickey has no wards. Mickey has placed all of his wards topside, and he doesn't have wards coming into this. And Kaiser has 4. Hansama, arrow in the forehead. Cleanse. Flashes out. But yeah, GG. GG, guys. This is into Nash. And then game is over. This game is completely unplayable. Yeah, Bo was going sicko mode. He survived somehow. Gwen is TPing. G2 are posturing because they feel like this is the only chance they have. Photon is sending his needles. Doesn't do enough. How can I watch the tier list you made? You can watch the VOD. You can watch the VOD. Okay, I think we've covered everything important in this game. Really beautiful game for Vitality, really.